All right, Shalom. Call all y'all about Yahushua. Shalom to the lit. Now, while I was at work, I just so happened to scroll, just looking at the news and current events. One thing I want to say too, I was telling somebody like, hey, fuck all this celebrity talk and all that shit, with Ye and other little celebrity gossip. That sometimes they use shit like that for a distraction. You already know they pull little schemes and scams behind the scenes of what you call the controlling oppositions. So they do shit like that. Because meanwhile, while they talking about that shit and making that a big deal, man, you got nuclear war in the air. The third woe. Like the scriptures say, behold, the first and second woe was past, but the third woe coming quickly. And we right here in them times right now, man. So listen to this video, man. Straight. And it's like it's straight out the precepts, man, out the scriptures. And see, that lines up with the precepts as well. Let me go to this. There's a few precepts I want to give. This book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. Now these other so-called weak nations that are doing on the radar like that, now they got nukes now. Come on, man. It's straight out of precepts, man. It's straight out of the scriptures. You can't make this up. Get another one. And why everybody want to come against America like that, Babylon? You have to ask these questions, which I know the answer, but I'm just saying that hypothetically, you have to ask these questions and think like, damn, why would they be doing that? Let me see what the scripture said about that. Book of Obadiah 1 and 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. And these nations, they despise Babylon. Because Babylon got all these nations what? This book of Revelation chapter 18 verse 3 says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And that's how you see China, all these finances and all that stuff, and own these banks, and whether it be bullion or whether it be the stock market or land and all this different shit, because they profited over the trade over here, the merchants. Great Britain, Europe. A lot of people get rich. First thing they like to get is European and Italian shit. These other countries, they got rich off of us. Korea. What's another area I'm trying to think of? Saudi Arabia. A lot of people love going over there now. Our people would denounce their religion and be a damn Muslim just to go over there now. But like the scriptures say, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. The nations have got drunk. I'm going to this and see if I can pull a little bit more. We go down to verse 4. It says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partaker of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquity." So even though all this time that went by, slavery happened, and it seemed like Esau never got judged for it, they still kill our people. They still lynch our people too. You just don't hear about it too much on the news, because they don't like to make big stories out of that, but you can look it up. Poison our people. The list goes on. Exploit our people. And human traffic. The Most High, don't forget none of this. And Esau's so dumb, and they would have had a righteous, upright spirit in them, they'll consider they doing and be like, you know what, we need to stop this shit. But nah, Esau too proud, man. Nah, verse 6. It says, "Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled to her double." So you gotta think, people always talking about karma and you reap what you sow. So what you think gonna happen to America, man? What you think gonna happen to Babylon? It's just the truth, man. Book of Revelation still, verse 7 says, "How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she said in her heart, I said a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow." And that's how people think. You tell people about this third war popping up, they talk shit and be like, "Oh no, that could never happen to this." Like, what? Do you see what's really going on? How can one nation stop the whole world that's against them, man? I can see if it was just one nation against one nation. Okay, it would be a possibility. The Most High win the wars anyway when he orchestrated from the heavens down to the physical realm. But if he orchestrating the war from the spiritual realm down to the physical realm and controlling all these rulers of the earth to come against this place, man, this place is through, man. It's just a matter of time of when. Verse 8, it says, "Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord her out of wine who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning." Because they're going to see like, oh shit, we ain't going to be able to make our own money. We can't trade. We can't send no goods over there. We can't go travel over there and do what we do normally. And I ain't going to mention what these heathens and Esau like to do when they come from cross seas. They get real grim. Now verse 10, it says, "Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come." And when you actually do the research on this, it actually take them nukes, those arrows mentioned in the scripture, so I'm going to get another scripture for that, 30 minutes to reach over here. So that's 30 minutes of traveling over here, and then another 30 minutes once it hit ground zero to do what it's going to do, and wipe shit out. That's 1 hour. Oh, and I ain't gonna put it up right now, but you can go check for yourself, do your homework. If you look up the term arrows, a military term, a broken arrow, it's called stolen nuke. Hey, it's some stolen nukes out right now. They still ain't found yet, man. And you know Esau like to play dirty and orchestrate some shit and say somebody else did it. And the whole time they did it. So, you see how they just put this in this video talking about dirty bombs and wind up on the black market? Man, come on, man. You think Esau ain't cooking up some shit? Why they got all these other events and distractions going on? This bread and circus shit going on? You see what that say? Now, I'm going to jump down to verse 17, the book of Revelation, chapter 18. And when I was young and I was a little boy, see, I ain't know all this stuff. And I used to try to read it, but I couldn't understand it. Because it wasn't time. But I used to always talk to, some of my family members and people like that. And they used to always tell me they were scared of this book. And I used to wonder why they so scared of this book? Hey, this some spooky shit, man. Now, it says in verse 17, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all company of ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, alas, or saying, what? Salakia stumbled a little bit, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads, cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had shipped in the sea by reason of her costliness from 1 hour, and she made desolate. And see how people, they want reparations and all this shit. Man, fuck Esau and their money. We work and do our stuff now, our business transactions. Some people have businesses and investments and stuff. But fuck that. What we got coming is way beyond this, man. The scriptures say eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what the Lord have prepared for us, man. We got some, and roughly paraphrasing, we got some stuff, the shit that we imagine, we got stuff beyond that. Because the Lord know what we want more than what we want. More than what we know, I should say. Salakia. I'm going to let this play a little bit more, and I'm going to end this up. See, I remember when that happened, that emergency alert shit went off. People was bugging out. People going in the sewers and shit. Then they sent another emergency alert on everybody. Everybody looking like deers in the headlights and shit, and not thinking nothing of it like that. The phone I had, I turned that shit off, so I ain't want to hear that shit. I just wanted to see what was going on around me. And you just notice everybody's just going on and on like ain't shit going on. But hey, once this real shit pop up though, people gonna think it's a joke, and they're gonna look up and they're gonna see that sky get dark, and they're gonna hear that shit tear through the clouds because it's gonna be flying at a certain speed. So Esau done manufactured these arrows to fly at a different speed and maneuver a certain way. Now, I want to say they fly at like Mach 8, not Mach 5, if I'm not mistaken. I have to fact check that. But I remember I was watching a documentary about that. So yeah, man, when that shit happened, it's gonna be ugly, man. I was talking to this lady, just about the safest place to be. I was letting her know, like, look, the only safest place to be. And see, people think, I don't know if she really grasped what I said, but I let her know because you're supposed to let your people know. The safest place to be is under the protection of Yahweh Shem Shah. Because when them angels come out and them chariots appear, they're only picking up certain people. Everybody not gonna make it. Everybody not getting on them ships. Adawan Ratazah, I'll be able to get on them ships. Think about it as I make this video. Adawan Ratazah, you Akim, they'll be pushing, and that's sincere. You get on those vessels. Because when this shit hit the fan, man, nobody want to feel that. You get in a hot shower and that shit be too hot. That shit burn your ass. You jump up and move out the way and try to turn the water down. Just think about that. Times 100 million. These nukes get up to 100 million degrees. That's a lot, man. 2 Peter say that the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Knowing these things, what manner of person, what manner of conversation, what manner of person are you to be? Salakia. That's some serious shit, man. Elements gonna melt, and it's primarily over here. It's not talking about ain't gonna be hitting over in Zimbabwe and there's some other areas I can think of. New Zealand, these neutral zones. You got neutral zone, Greenland and shit like that. These places, they neutral zones. They ain't on the radar for that nuclear shit. It's mainly, primarily Babylon. Of course, they're gonna shoot some off as well and hit other areas. But this place done, man. Every kingdom had its rise. and every kingdom have its fall. And the kingdom where we about to get to is an eternal kingdom, as it is written. And that's why, you know what? I ain't gonna let the rest of this video play because it got a little time on it, and I'm gonna keep going on and on throughout the video. But that's why Esau want to escape. They want to offset the prophecies. They gotta pay, man. They gotta live out their sentence, so to speak. They sentence Jake. They sentence everybody else on the earth all this time and give your ass a life sentence. And they'll give you 4 life sentences, then 23 years on top of that shit. Like, that's what Esau like to do. So they gotta live out their sentence, man. Like the scriptures say, those who lead into captivity shall go into captivity. Those who kill it with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and faith of the saints. Now, I'm making this last precept, I'm making this on. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All you that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. And that's what you see happening right now, man. So you people that be playing talking about this ain't gonna never happen and that can't happen. And the U.S. got this defense system and all that. Yeah, they got that defense system and all that shit. That shit ain't defending all these countries. Like I said, Japan and Korea try to do that shit by themselves. They'll defend that probably. All these other countries is linking up. And Russia gonna be a guard to them, as it is written in the book of Ezekiel. And I ain't gonna get that. But you can go to it and read it yourself. So I just want to bring this out. Like I say, man, don't get distracted by the celebrity bullshit when you got stuff like this brewing on the horizon. And I seen something else, which I may do a lesson on that. Adawan Ratazan. You know, the spirit get on me to go full spectrum into it. Man, these trucks, they running out of diesel. I want to say in the next 2 months, they got like a month or 2 left of diesel. Then you got Walmart, you know, holiday season coming up, Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all that bullshit. They saying they don't turn away $80 billion of their merchandise and they closing down stores. So it's something on the horizon, man. While they trying to distract everybody with all this other stuff, there's other shit on the horizon that's about to take place. When you pay attention to these prophecies, it's in the scriptures. So stay alert, stay vigilant, and circumspect, out of wine, right to edifying, call all your high by Shalom to the elect.